Hey, welcome back to another coverage of the Pacific Islander. Out here covering the Rugby World Cup happening here in France. So, as you see, we're going to go over the game between Samoa and Argentina. A lot of good things to talk about the game itself. And here's my good buddy with me.
Thank you very much. Big Bats here.
Of course,
if you're here for first time, make sure you subscribe or check the like button and also share the content because we cover the Pacific Islanders out here in the World Cup with a different point of view.
That's right. You know, we look at it from a different point of view, of course.
Absolutely.
And what we saw last night was really amazing.
Or
what the
Samoa
Samoans
was
can do
good.
under different conditions. You know, not only the bad
rain.
weather, but just the weather wasn't that bad. It's the condition that they're playing in that's horrible. You know.
Or you're opening up a can of worm here about the game between Argentina and Samoa. What is it?
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, first of all, tip my hat off to Samoa, the coach,
Or
and
a
everything
very
that they
good
do at
coach.
the game.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
so let's not talk about the game because that's so.
But
we will
European,
like you like to say, right?
Or European. You're telling me, what did I say, Matt? You're making fun of me saying European.
No, I just
or
like
what
the way.
is it?
Hey, look, I just like the way you say European, so I love it. I love it. Okay, so but you know what I love about this team is because they are the one team you can count on Samoa to keep on that how do you call it, that
What?
island ferocity, you know, that island mentality of never giving up, you know.
Yeah, but the Fiji and Tonga does the same thing. So why you just say it is just Samoa? You know, I mean, you gotta elaborate. Tell me more.
Okay, let me make myself clear. Like when I say that, when you look at these islanders out here in Europe and the way they present themselves everywhere, they carry that, even though a lot of them are born outside of the islands, they're living in New Zealand or Australia or out here in Europe, but they still have that island ferocity. And when I mean island ferocity, I'm not talking about on the field. I'm talking about their culture and the way they preserve it. That's what I'm talking about, you know.
You, man, you're deep. You're very deep. So
Now you're making fun of me.
Okay, I gotta change my thinking here because all of a sudden you hit me with a 2x4 on the head.
Well, you know what? Look, the way they carry themselves throughout the whole tournament so far is just beautiful to watch. Like I saw this conference, you know, this press conference with Michael.
Alalato, you mean? By the way, here is the only Samoan who is playing for in the World Cup team that is playing out there in Ireland.
Yes,
for,
that's right.
You know, for United Rugby Championship Club Leinster.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's what I'm talking about. Because they live out here in Europe,
That is,
and then they present themselves like Europeans, and in a good way, because what it does, it shows you how much their heritage or their background or the roots from where their family comes from is really deep within them. So when you see him wearing a lava or just wearing, in Tongan we call it a tupendu, when he's coming on to a press conference, you know, there it is. I mean, you know, to a press conference wearing his traditional outfit, it means a lot. He's wearing slippers, flip-flops, which is
he could be barefoot.
It's a sign of respect when you're wearing these type of things, and how proud, how rooted you are in this culture. And that's a different way of thinking, because Americans will never do that. You know,
Come on.
unless you're in Hawaii. Or if you're Tua Tanga Vailoa.
I've seen Tua wearing his flip-flops, but you know we call it flip-flop. But he's wearing his traditional outfit. You know, he's rooted in the Samoan heritage, and he's carrying it even though he is born in Hawaii. That is what you meant.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who don't know, the Miami Dolphins, the NFL quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa,
he's awesome.
whose background is his parents are from Samoa.
That is right.
And
Absolutely.
and also, but he was born in Hawaii. But when he is out there as the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, he
Yeah.
is carrying himself as an islander.
Yes,
And he's just
absolutely.
not representing Hawaii, another island, but he's representing
More of the
all
Pacific,
of what the Pacific Island experience
Yeah.
is. He's
Very true.
carrying he's carrying his tradition, his culture on himself. Even got
Heritage.
tattoos.
I love it.
I mean that, and the tattoo is a Polynesian word.
Yeah.
Which means exactly what it is. But other people call it tats, this, that, whatever. But just remember that word everybody uses, tattoo, is a Polynesian word.
Everybody wants to say, but we've had it for 2,000 years in here before. Everybody want to take credit for this
Hey, look.
tattoo word,
Yeah.
But I'm glad that
Well,
you
you know.
mentioned that.
And I'm happy that the Samoan has been carrying this tradition for years and years and years.
yeah.
Even though islands like Fiji and Tonga, we've lost that.
That is right, yeah.
But the Samoans still carry it, and then you see them carrying it on the field. And then you see them carrying it to the press conference. You see their coach wearing.
You mean Coach Seilala Mapusua?
Oh yes. I mean, he's a former World Cup player for Samoa. He's played everywhere in not only in New Zealand but
Impressive.
around the world. He's played out in England, out.
I saw in Japan, you said?
Yeah, that's right.
He was in Japan.
Yeah. He was in Japan. I mean, sometimes when you listen to his press conferences, he would acknowledge a Japanese reporter.
That is right.
With a
It's very
Japanese
nice,
word.
yeah.
So, or a Spanish reporter with a Spanish word. But the thing is,
Yeah.
he's a nice guy, but he's
But he
also
looks
very
it.
knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And he also answers the questions, a lot of questions, diplomatically. So,
He should be
knows how to play
politician.
the game. The game of answering questions,
That
and
is
he does it
right.
really well. And he doesn't blame anybody for anything.
No.
Like, for example, we know the problem is with the World Rugby is that you're going to keep these Tier 1 nations ahead of the Tier 2 nations.
Very
so
European.
basically, it's about the rich countries being rich and the poor countries like Tonga, Samoa, and Fiji will always be poor. So they call them Tier 2. That's my word. That's my take on it. When you say, what is the difference between Tier 1 and Tier 2? Easy. Look at this list.
Oh, yeah.
That list I put up there for a reason.
So, in other words, they are covering up by saying we are stronger. The Tier 1 is strong. That is it. Very European. Yeah? You hide it behind some wording. So tier means rich and poor. That's black and white.
Yeah.
Easy to see.
Well, and some of the explanation is that the Tier 1 is always stronger and they are better and blah, 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 baloney. Yeah, that's for countries that just love to eat cheese and drink wine. I mean, that's the mentality I think of them as that. Because basically the truth is, the best athletes out there to play rugby comes from Tonga, Fiji, and Samoa.
Of course.
So how can you limit these people? You can limit them by giving rules that everybody's so happy, And everybody goes, but it benefits all these islands if people decide to go play for them. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
The bottom line is it's all about money. And Tonga, Fiji, and Samoa, I'm sorry, but they don't have enough money for TV rights and all these things. So there's not enough of them to make up for the millions that
Viewership.
What?
Yeah.
Like Argentina has 46 million that plays against Fiji.
Right.
Fiji had 920. Samoa had 205,000.
Wow. A big difference. And did you hear they mentioned that?
Oh,
They mentioned that on the TV towards the very end.
They mentioned that because we put out this stuff here on YouTube.
That is right. Yeah.
We always look for facts. We put up numbers that European like you said, European. European channels don't put
Yeah.
up.
No, no.
It's like we put it up because we know the facts.
Yes. Yeah.
You
that
know,
is
we know
true.
that there is these little countries
Yeah.
in green
Yes.
are being
here.
treated like they are huge,
No.
huge countries, and that they, you know, no, it's not. The rules is made for the tier one nations. Can you believe if this Tonga, Fiji, and Samoa were given the same rights, meaning the same rights? We talked about this.
Very
last
competitive
one.
it will
We said if they were given everything that these cheese and wine eating countries get,
Yeah.
then the competition would be great. But they
will be
don't.
better. Yeah.
Because
yeah.
they want to. The rule that everybody thinks, oh, what a great rule. This rule is really good for Tonga. No, that's baloney.
You
It's
think
not
so?
good for Tonga, Samoa, or Fiji.
You got to explain.
That rule was made so that these big rich countries here, like, like look at all of this: France, Scotland,
Okay.
England, Ireland.
Okay.
So they can get these island players to come over and play professionally to keep the quality of rugby high.
Uh-huh.
You know, when you can do that, you can do by change the rule, but make the marketing and say, oh, look, who? Famous players going to play for Tonga. Tonga will be great. No, Tonga is not going to be great. Tonga has always been good. But you never give them the same things. Like, you let these Tongans and Samoans and Fijian practice, 10 weeks out of the whole year to play?
3 years,
I mean,
4 years.
Last night, they were
Yeah.
celebrating in Argentina 100 caps. 100
Wow.
caps for
Wow.
some of the players.
Wow.
And when you hear that Samoa has never played a tier 1 nation,
Wow.
they've only played 3 of them since last World Cup. That's so
Wow.
unfair,
It
isn't
is.
it?
It is.
So how do you combat calling tier 1 and tier 2? Well, how do you combat calling rich countries and poor countries? Give them a different name.
Okay, so you think this rule only helps rich countries? Forget tier. But you are saying that by giving them 3 years residency, then you can become a player. You're looking at these European rules, come football teams taking all this, taking all the players from these poor countries like Tonga, Fiji, and Samoa. That is what you're saying.
Well, that's the truth. The truth is, all these players are amazing.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
world-class athletes.
Yeah.
And they're living in Australia and New Zealand, Tonga, Samoa, and Fiji. And all the other Pacific Islanders. They've
That
got
is
the
true.
body, they've got the heart, they've got the drive, you know. They're nice people. They're
But they are
wonderful
poor.
people to play with because they're always team first.
Yeah.
But when you have countries like these that limit them, for example, you can see it. No matter how good Tonga is, no matter what they do, they'll never play together. No matter how, you saw it last night with Samoa. They have the talent. People have played for the Wallabies and
All Blacks.
the All Blacks.
Yes.
And now they're playing in Samoa, and then you're saying,
Manu
yeah,
Samoa.
but then they should play better. No, they shouldn't play better. They are good. It's just give them better schedules. Give them
Opportunities.
teams to play with. Give
Okay.
them tier 1
Competition.
nations, rich nations to play with.
Yeah.
You know,
They
give them
don't-
competitions that they can use it.
Yeah.
I mean,
see.
really, that's the truth. So if you have this physical, incredible physical specimens
Yeah.
out there, what
Yeah.
do? Limit them. You know,
Yeah.
don't let them practice together.
You mean they did it to Muhammad Ali? Remember when they put Muhammad Ali 4
Yeah.
years in jail
Yeah.
or 2
Yep.
years? How many times?
Yes.
It's the same thing when you limit this Tonga,
Yeah.
Fiji, and Samoa. It's
Yeah.
like they are being put in jail
Yep.
because they don't have money, they don't have
That's right.
population,
Yeah.
but because they are
They can control
rugby
them.
gods.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
put them in jail.
Yeah.
And what is jail? Don't let them play competition.
No.
Don't let them play with tier 1 nations. You know, because when they do, they will ask for more money.
Well, they're good when they. You're right, man. You know, you're exactly right. I mean, when you look at a small country like in the one of the rich countries,
Okay.
which is a small country, Scotland, for example, they have
Okay,
5.4 million people.
Okay, I was going to say
That's
Wales.
still more population than Tonga, Fiji,
Okay.
and Samoa put together.
All right,
Right,
all
but
right.
Scotland,
Yeah.
they play professionally together all the time.
Okay.
You know, so you have Scotland that has 14 players from Glasgow,
Yes.
12
Warriors.
players from
Warriors.
Edinburgh in the World Cup.
Yeah.
That's 26
33.
players
Yeah.
coming from Scotland
Wow.
that are playing
Wow.
professionally.
3 in England, 1 in Toulon.
They're
in
playing
France.
together.
Okay, I hear you.
You know,
I hear.
14 from Glasgow Warriors, 12 from Edinburgh, but they all playing at. That's what I'm talking about these European cheese-eating, wine-drinking people. Because what they're doing is they're holding back. Like,
Yes,
you can
development.
say, oh, but, you know, Tonga, Samoa, and Fiji, they have all European players come up from everywhere. They're playing in
Oh,
Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
But
must be.
they're not playing together.
That's right.
You know, they get paid now. They get, raising, they could be paid more. You
Absolutely.
know, but you're not going to do that.
No, no.
So you make them come to Europe and play in France, play in
Okay,
England, you know,
okay.
play in Italy,
Okay.
play in Ireland, play
Yeah.
in Scotland, and then they become members of your team. We see
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah.
But that's the future of rugby.
Okay.
You know, so you say,
Okay.
no, the rugby is the future, is that you can go now. No, the rugby is about money.
Okay.
You know, these poor countries is not making enough money.
Tier
So
two.
why don't we take the players and put them in our country? Because we
Okay.
control the rules.
Uh-huh.
We control the rules.
Yeah.
You know, but so I now I understand what you're talking about. Before I thought it was a good rule.
Yeah.
To that, you know, like
course.
for example, before I thought, wow, what a wonderful rule when you
Yeah.
see Israel for Lao, you know, going to play for Tonga.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Now I see what you mean. Now I see what you mean. Look, the rule, it can work both ways. It can be good, not just for the rich people, rich countries, and the poor countries. The fact is,
that is-
they are not giving the poor countries enough matches to keep themselves busy,
But more rules.
to make them work as a team. Not
Yeah.
10 weeks out of
Yeah.
4 years like that.
Yeah,
Every
yeah,
year,
yeah.
okay, they get like 10 weeks.
That is right.
But you see what I mean? What I'm getting at is that
Yeah.
basically these rich countries,
Yeah.
you know, tier 1 as they call it, are controlling everything.
Yeah.
Okay?
That
And
is
and that's
right.
and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Give these teams
Poor
like
countries.
playing time, test matches to be
Yeah.
played. So
Yeah.
last night, hey, I hate to take away the focus from Argentina, who
The
played really
attention.
well.
Yeah, they did.
You know,
they
and
did.
just like Samoa played really well. Of course, at the
Yes.
end of the day, it's a game.
Very
But at the
true.
end of the day, you will see, you actually saw it during the game.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
what if Samoa had the same opportunities that
Yeah.
Scotland, Wales, you
Oh.
know, France,
Yeah.
England,
Yeah.
all these companies, South Africa.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if they had the same chances
Same
as these
matches.
countries where
That
they're
is right.
able to play more matches, you know, so they can become a team? But that will never happen because
yeah.
of, like we said,
Yeah.
you know, they jailed Muhammad Ali when he was so
No, no,
when he
no.
was so
Why I like what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
You're saying that these teams here are just not treated well.
yeah, and no one wants to say it, but the coach, you know, he did say something about it when he was asked about it. This is what he said.
Coach, over the next few years or next few tournaments, how does a tier 2 country close the gap on the tier 1 nations? And do you take any kind of inspiration from what Fiji has shown at this as perhaps a model to follow?
Great question. I think this is definitely, it's definitely the success of a tier 2 nation like Fiji is. There's a direct correlation between the amount of games, but also the types of games they're playing. I look at Fiji and we're so proud of what they're doing at the moment, and seeing their lead into a World Cup playing France and England. and then going straight into Wales and then beating Australia. That's pretty impressive to be doing that week in, week out. And I think we're showing that we can be competitive against teams like Argentina, who are playing in the Rugby Championship. Teams like Ireland, number 1 ranked in the world, and I think the more games we can play, the more times we can get to play the tier 1 nations or top 10 teams. It can only be a good thing for us as Man Samoa. So I think today was the 3rd tier 1 team we've played since the last World Cup. So in 4 years, it's we're definitely not making any excuses or saying that we're not here to play, we're not ready. But it's pretty hard to argue against the fact that it would make it better preparation for us to play those games more regularly. So I hope that answers the question.
I mean, the truth is, Seilala Mapusua, man, I'm a big fan of his.
Me too.
And I'm glad of what he's doing and what he's for Samoa, for the Pacific Islands.
Yes.
And I'm proud of what he's doing. And as we can see, we can go on talking about this. So basically, we came out here just to air the problems that we saw. Yeah. I'm glad because, like he said, no excuses for losing, but you can see it. Anybody with trained eye can see the problem. The problem is right there, but everybody said, "Oh, it was the wet ball, wet this." No, they played well. It doesn't matter with wet ball, but the bigger problem is the wet excuses everybody is using. Rich and poor. That's black and white, and
Tier
you
1
cannot hide it.
and Tier 2.
Absolutely right. I mean, really. Before we leave, we had to bring this up. I mean, our purpose was to talk about the game, but this was more important. We talk about what's going on in the game and how we can make it better for everybody. Not just the poor countries, but for the rich countries too. Okay? There's more. We can talk. We will talk your ears off. So if you're here and still listening to us, please subscribe. And also press like and share the content, and we'll keep talking more about these themes that we seem to just, as islanders, we are trained by, because we are such nice people that we shouldn't question the authorities and the rugby tier 1 system, the committee. No, we should just follow a law. No, you should speak up if something is wrong. Bring it up to their attention. But
That is right.
I gotta hand it out to Seilala Mapusua for
big
being
fan,
politically
big fan.
correct and not calling them out on it. But nice job, Samoa. Proud of you. And please, absolutely proud of Samoa. And listening to them, Sivatau, they were the best. Well, I mean, with all the challenges, cultural challenges from Fiji, Tonga, and Samoa, I must admit that Samoa is the best one so far in the 2023 World Cup. New Zealand is up there, Tonga is up there, so is Fiji, but Samoa is special. Anyway, that's all we have to say till our next content. Take care, everybody.